I have always looked at fan reactions, whether they be fully supportive or negative or aggressive or whatever they may be, as passion. Fans are just passionate. I'm a fan.
It was posted last night. Netflix's Q2 report came out, and apparently they lost 1 million subscribers in the second quarter of this year, which we already saw that at the beginning of the year, they lost 200,000. The next month, they lost another couple 100,000, and they had projected that they were going to lose a couple million over the next few months. I don't really think people believed it, but it happened.
What the is this piece of shit?
Something strange just happened in the world of The Witcher, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it. One trailer, just 2 minutes long, managed to divide an entire fandom and flip Netflix's biggest fantasy franchise upside down. The platform had promised a comeback, a fresh start, a new era with Liam Hemsworth stepping into Geralt's armor. Instead, what fans got looked to many like the final nail in the coffin. Dislike bars skyrocketed, memes flooded Reddit, and even loyal supporters began echoing the same line: "This isn't The Witcher anymore." How did something meant to rebuild trust spark chaos instead? How did a show once praised for its dark charm and Henry Cavill's iconic performance end up at the center of one of Netflix's most talked about disasters? Let's break down exactly how a single casting choice, a badly received trailer, and a wave of online outrage may have doomed one of streaming's biggest fantasy worlds.
Millions of people are canceling their Netflix subscriptions. Why Netflix stock is absolutely tanking right now. I mean, it is just collapsing totally in the red. And you can see that it is on a massive downward slope this month. It's cratering.
To understand the storm, you need to go back to the moment Henry Cavill walked away. When he announced his departure after season 3, fans were heartbroken, but hopeful. Cavill was Geralt. His gravelly tone, quiet intensity, and respect for the lore made him feel born for the role. So when Netflix revealed that Liam Hemsworth would take over, the internet didn't just shrug, it panicked. The idea of replacing someone so beloved felt like swapping out a piece of the show's soul. But Netflix pushed confidence. They said Liam had the look, the energy, and the drive to keep the magic alive. For months, silence followed. Fans speculated, debated, and waited. When the first teaser finally appeared almost 2 years later, anticipation was sky high. Netflix was betting on nostalgia and curiosity to carry the series forward. But they underestimated one thing. Fans don't just love stories, they protect them. And the moment they sensed something off, the internet lit up like wildfire.
When it was announced that Henry Cavill was leaving The Witcher almost 3 years ago, there was an immense amount of backlash, and understandably so. Because what people had seen from the Netflix show after Henry Cavill took on the role, even though there was so much hype around it, and season 1 was received okay, but people thought there was a lot of room for improvement, and maybe ways that they could honor the lore and the source material better. But instead of doing that, it just continued to get worse and worse and worse.
The trailer for The Witcher Season 4 should have been Netflix's victory lap. Instead, it was a disaster in slow motion. Within hours of dropping, dislikes began outpacing likes, comment sections filled with disbelief, and memes took over X and TikTok. Fans compared clips side by side with Cavill scenes. Every motion, every line, every facial expression. Where Henry brought quiet menace, Liam's performance seemed off balance, too clean, too hesitant, too human. One viral comment summed it up perfectly. It feels like a Comic-Con parody of The Witcher. Not The Witcher, but the backlash went beyond acting. Viewers noticed the fight choreography looked different, the world felt flatter, and even the color grading seemed cheaper. Reddit threads dissected every frame, calling it the most tone-deaf trailer Netflix ever released.
Of course, the reason Henry Cavill left is because the show went in a completely different direction from the source material. Henry Cavill, a big Witcher fan, did not like that, and that's why he left. Because behind the scenes, he was begging these people to use the source material instead of pushing their bullshit.
I'm the most annoying guy on set. because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can do it.
And as those memes spread, a new wave of hashtags took over the algorithm. Hashtag not my Geralt and hashtag bring back Cavill. For Netflix, that trailer wasn't just a marketing misstep, it was the spark that reignited every unresolved frustration from season 3, and it was about to explode. At first, Netflix brushed off the backlash as routine internet noise, but it didn't fade. It multiplied. Every new comment section became a protest zone, every meme another hit to the show's credibility. And fans weren't just mad about a new face, they were furious at what they saw as disrespect to Cavill's legacy. Some pointed out that Henry had clashed with showrunners over creative choices in earlier seasons, accusing Netflix of ignoring the original book's tone. When those rumors resurfaced, the narrative changed from new actor to corporate betrayal. Then came the speculation that Liam had been hired more for name recognition than passion for the lore, and that Netflix was chasing mainstream appeal over story integrity. It didn't help when leaked screenshots suggested internal meetings were tense. Suddenly, fans began wondering if Netflix even believed in its own product. That's when the phrase, "Witcher without a soul," started trending, a phrase that summed up everything wrong with the shift. But the internet wasn't done yet, because soon, whispers began emerging from inside the production itself. Behind the curtain, things at Netflix weren't calm. They were unraveling. According to multiple reports and insider chatter, executives were caught completely off guard by the sheer scale of the backlash. They'd seen controversy before, casting debates, fan petitions, even viral outrage. But this was different. This wasn't just criticism, this was mutiny. Within 48 hours of the trailer's release, analytics reportedly showed engagement metrics plummeting, social sentiment tanking, and even the Witcher official social media accounts getting flooded with negative comments faster than moderators could delete them. It was a digital wildfire that no PR strategy could contain. Emergency meetings were called across departments. Marketing teams were ordered to adjust tone. Public relations began drafting neutral statements that never saw the light of day. And whispers of a potential delay for Season 4 began circulating. Some insiders say there was a quiet debate over whether to postpone the premiere entirely, to let the storm pass. But delaying a $100 million production wasn't an easy call.
Every day off schedule meant millions lost, and worse, it would confirm exactly what Netflix was trying to deny, that The Witcher had become a sinking ship. Then came the leaks. Screenshots and alleged Slack messages began popping up on fan forums, claiming to show internal panic. One post described urgent tone meetings where executives argued over color grading and music cues. Another claimed showrunners were instructed to tone down Liam Hemsworth's close-ups in early edits, apparently to reduce visual comparisons to Henry Cavill. Whether true or not, these details fed the narrative perfectly. The audience didn't just suspect chaos, now they could see it. And when you let fans smell panic, they double down. The story took another twist when a production assistant, unverified but widely shared, posted that morale on set had collapsed. Crew members allegedly joked that Season 4 was the Witcher funeral tour. That single quote spread everywhere. Entertainment blogs ran with it, influencers dissected it, and soon everyone believed Netflix was quietly bracing for failure. The image of a billion-dollar corporation sweating behind closed doors became the new meme: slick boardrooms, nervous suits, and a giant red cancel button hovering over Geralt's face. By this point, rumors about Liam Hemsworth clashing with producers had also entered the mix. One viral leak claimed he'd walked off set after a dispute about Geralt's dialogue, especially over a new line fans called "out of character." It was never confirmed, but again, it didn't matter. The internet thrives on emotion, not evidence. Reports claim became everyone knows, and perception hardened into truth. To the fans, Netflix wasn't just mishandling a show, they were rewriting a legacy. Behind the scenes, however, some staff allegedly pushed back. A few creatives fought to stay loyal to the books, arguing that alienating longtime fans would doom the series. But higher-ups had their own playbook: modernize the tone, appeal to a broader audience, chase the algorithm. They weren't trying to fix The Witcher, they were trying to rebrand it. And that decision, more than any trailer or casting change, was what turned a fantasy epic into a case study in corporate tone deafness. By the end of that quarter, internal forecasts reportedly showed declining confidence in Season 4's performance. Budget adjustments were made, marketing spend reduced, and future seasons, once mapped out for 5 or 6 total, were quietly reevaluated. Netflix had gone from betting on a comeback to calculating damage control. What started as a fandom uproar had become a full-blown business crisis. And as the dust settled, one chilling question began circulating inside those walls. Had they already lost the audience for good?
When the dust from the trailers settled, one thing became painfully clear. The outrage had found a face, and it wasn't Netflix's CEO or the showrunners. It was Liam Hemsworth. Overnight, the conversation shifted from what happened to The Witcher to how could Liam ever replace Henry? For months, he'd trained obsessively, worked with dialect coaches, studied the novels, even revisited Cavill's interviews to understand how deeply fans valued accuracy. He wanted to prove he wasn't stepping into the role carelessly, but the internet doesn't care about preparation, it cares about perception. And perception turned on him like a storm. The memes came first. Split screens comparing Cavill's brooding glare with Liam's fresh-faced look flooded Reddit and X. TikToks racked up millions of views under captions like Geralt of Rivia, before and after corporate decisions. Fan edits mocked his fight stances, his voice, even his jawline. Within days, he'd gone from a respected actor to the internet's latest punchline. What hurt most, according to reports from those close to him, was that he hadn't even spoken publicly yet. The man hadn't delivered a single full scene, but audiences had already decided he wasn't worthy. It was trial by algorithm. Behind the scenes, friends said Liam was blindsided by how personal the criticism felt. He'd known replacing a fan favorite would be tough, but not this brutal. Comment sections filled with sarcasm. He's just Diet Geralt. Did they pull him from a shampoo commercial? Even entertainment outlets joined the pylon, running headlines that treated him like collateral damage in Netflix's blunder. Industry peers quietly reached out, reminding him this was just how fandoms work. But that didn't help much when every scroll through social media was a wall of mockery. Then came the rumor mill. A viral Reddit thread claimed Liam had lost it during a meeting, throwing his script across the room after being told to deliver lines in a lighter tone. Another alleged that he'd requested dialogue rewrites to sound closer to Cavill's Geralt, something Netflix supposedly rejected to distance the show from the past. None of it was verified, but every headline added fuel to the fire. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. Liam wasn't just unfit, he was fighting back. The idea of an actor quietly rebelling against corporate orders gave fans something new to cling to, and sympathy slowly crept in. For a brief moment, the internet hesitated. Some viewers began defending him, arguing that no one could replace Cavill and that Liam was walking into an impossible situation. One YouTuber summed it up perfectly. You can't blame the new guy for inheriting a broken kingdom. The tone softened slightly, but Netflix's silence didn't help. Without any official support, Liam became the sole lightning rod for both sides, the people hoping he'd redeem the show and those waiting for him to fail spectacularly. Finally, after weeks of speculation, he broke his silence with a short, carefully worded Instagram post. No captions about pressure, no defensive tone, just gratitude for the opportunity and a promise to honor the world that so many love. It was understated, almost humble. Yet that single gesture reignited the debate. Some saw it as graceful, others called it damage control. The post racked up millions of interactions, but underneath it, the top comment summed up the entire tragedy. He didn't ruin The Witcher. He just showed us how much we already miss Cavill. At that point, the narrative had outgrown him. Liam wasn't the villain or the hero anymore. He was a symbol, a reminder of how brutal fandom culture can be when expectation turns into outrage. And as Netflix's PR team scrambled to reframe the conversation, one fact was undeniable. Whatever happened next, the fate of The Witcher was now tied to a single actor who never asked to become the story. By now, the situation wasn't just about a bad trailer.
It was a corporate crisis. Reports claim Netflix quietly froze pre-production on Season 5 as internal projections predicted a sharp drop in viewership.
Marketing slowed to a crawl, official accounts stopped posting, and partnerships started backing away. Analysts mourned the company could lose tens of millions if the show underperformed. But beyond the numbers, a deeper message was forming. Fans had begun using The Witcher as a symbol, a warning about what happens when studios ignore their audience. Former employees even spoke out online, calling it a case study in how to alienate your core fanbase. What made The Witcher special, the grit, the lore, the respect for its world, was gone, replaced by what fans saw as algorithm-driven storytelling. The show had become the very thing Geralt fought against, a monster created by greed and pride. And while Netflix tried to move on quietly, the fandom refused to let it die peacefully. With the damage done, a new wave of rumors flooded the internet. Some claimed Liam had been officially dropped from his contract. Others said Netflix planned to reboot the franchise from scratch. Unverified leaks pointed to internal complaints, creative rifts, and toxic energy on set. None of it confirmed, but that didn't matter. Once a narrative takes hold online, it becomes unstoppable. Fans launched campaigns under hashtags like Save the Witcher, demanding Henry Cavill's return or a complete rewrite. Petitions gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures, and fan-made trailers imagining Cavill's comeback hit millions of views. Even people who'd never watched the show joined the pylon. What began as a fandom debate had turned into a pop culture event, Netflix versus the internet. And as more influencers, YouTubers, and media outlets piled in, The Witcher went from being a fantasy story to being the story, a living example of how fan power can topple giants. But beneath the noise, one question kept echoing. Was there ever a way this could have ended differently? In the end, The Witcher's downfall wasn't just about a casting decision. It was about trust, something far harder to rebuild than any fantasy world. Henry Cavill became the symbol of authenticity, the face of a show that felt crafted with care. Liam Hemsworth became the symbol of a studio's gamble gone wrong. And Netflix, once the streaming giant that could do no wrong, found itself facing a harsh truth. No algorithm can replace audience loyalty. What started as a story about destiny and monsters turned into a real-world cautionary tale about creative arrogance. Fans didn't just reject a new actor, they rejected the idea that passion can be manufactured. Whether The Witcher ever recovers or fades into meme history, one thing's certain: the fandom has spoken, and their roar was louder than any sword strike. Because in this saga, the scariest villain wasn't found in the show. It was sitting in the boardroom.